Hello, you are on the Alice Reddit Stories channel. More than 90% watch my videos without a subscription. Subscribe to the channel so we always stay in touch. Enjoy watching. I lost control on a date in front of her whole family. I joined website for dating to try and get more dates. That was my only intent. I have been working too much for 2 years at my new job. I just wanted to have more fun. I got an email and set up a date with this girl. It's my 5th date from the site. It's been fun. But this one girl was like one of those love at first sight moments when we met at a restaurant. I saw her and she was perfect. I tried to play it cool, but I felt like I could just cut ties with all the girls I've dated and just commit to her. Physically, she was everything I could ever ask for and exactly my type. Her personality seemed about a 10 out of 10. About 30 minutes into sitting down, we didn't even order cause we were just talking. The chemistry was as good as it was with my first love when I was 13. It was perfect, sparks were flying. I thought I was done and ready to commit here. But then she tells me to forget about ordering food, let's go somewhere else, and she has this idea. She won't say much and I like surprises, so I didn't ask much. We jumped in my car and drove to this restaurant about 20 minutes away, kind of out of town. It was halfway up a mountain near a ski resort. I'm familiar with the area, so no big deal. We walk in and her family is celebrating her aunt's birthday. There was only family and a lot of it, about 40 people. She introduces me, and everybody was happy to meet me and real nice. Everybody also knew that she was out on a first date. They were asking her stuff like, "Is this the guy? Is this your date? Is this the one?" All of the sudden I wasn't so cool and relaxed. I felt heavy pressure to be on my best behavior. It was high pressure to the 3rd degree. But everybody was nice, so that helped. We sat down and I started being questioned by her older sister, her aunt, and another lady that I forget her relation to my date. The mom started kind of defending me and telling them to back off and let me eat. But the interrogating continued. After I don't know how long, they turned to my date and jokingly said we approve. Then I was able to kind of get my bearings about me for a minute. I was totally off balance all night, just tense. I was afraid the back of my shirt would get that a big wet spot cause I felt sweat on my back. So the sister brings her cute little girl and lets me hold her, and she and my date started taking pictures of me holding her, and somebody else's baby boy as well. I started to feel like the tone of it all was that we were a couple. I kind of felt like I was married to her and these nice people were my in-laws. After a couple of hours, probably closer to 3 hours, everybody was kind of tiring out and everything began to wind down. Keep in mind her car is still at the other restaurant down the hill. Then her dad suddenly asks me jokingly what my intentions are with his daughter. Though I can't remember how he phrased the question. Everybody looked at the table, looked at me, which is about half the people there. I guess I was exhausted from all the questioning. I was questioned by multiple people, multiple times, and the pressure of it all, cause I kind of lost it. He asked the question, I looked across the table at her, and she told her dad to stop it. Her dad smiles and jokingly says that he'd really like to hear my response, and her uncle, I think, also said he'd like to know, jokingly. I looked at my date and said, "Can I talk to you alone for a minute?" To which her dad laughs loudly and says I made him nervous. So everybody is laughing now, and I guess it was a big joke. Then I said to my date, "Hey, can I talk to you alone for a minute?" I stood up in place, kind of. It was one of those long bench seats and I couldn't push it back cause other people were sitting on it. Then her sister, I think, says, "Oh, there are no secrets in this family, speak your mind." People then laugh again and everybody starts making jokes about not having secrets, and this man who married into the family somehow tells me that he remembers being in my place and he says, "Let me give you some advice. The best thing to do right now is speak your mind and be honest." Then others join in and echo his sentiment, all jokingly I think. So I looked at my date and she says something like, you can tell me anything here, we're all family. She also, I think, was joking. But I had started to lose my ability to tell when people were joking and when they were serious. So the dad says, wait, I haven't gotten an answer to my question. So finally, I speak directly to the dad and say, I'd like to discuss that with her first. But I regretfully laughed as I said it. So her dad says, I asked you first, I wanna know. I turn to my date and she says something like, go ahead, you can tell me, I'm a big girl, I can handle it. So I said okay, and sat down, then took a couple of breaths while her dad kind of quieted everybody down. I started with, I think I made a huge mistake. It all spiraled down from there. I said harsh things like that I felt like I was having a bad dream where I was suddenly married. I questioned her intentions in bringing me there. I said stuff like, what were you thinking? Yes, I liked you, but I just met you, and right now I know your aunt. I pointed at her sitting next to me, better than I know you. I think she was humiliated, but I couldn't stop. The more I spoke, the more bad stuff came out. Total fucking tailspin. I said I want to find someone special, but I don't want to skip the first 29 dates and skip to date 30, which is what I'd done that night. Then people started interrupting and chiming in and suggesting that she and I slow down and have a real first date. I wasn't having it, I was out of control. I said, no, it's too late for that. I feel robbed here. I wanted to meet this girl, get to know her, date her, and maybe fall for her. But now it's like we're engaged and her whole family is here and there are all these expectations. We skipped the getting to know each other and dating part, so I feel robbed. Then I said yet another thing I regret. I said it's a huge red flag, with an emphatic gesture, that I asked for a minute alone with you to talk, and this is what I got instead. I added something like you're all great and a great family, but the lack of certain boundaries is a huge red flag for me. I would never let my relationship become family business. My date interrupts me at this point and says, okay, so let's talk in private, let's go outside and talk. I'm sorry I didn't give you that minute, let's go outside and talk privately, I'll give you all night. She was visibly shaken and I could tell tears were inevitable. I stood up again and realizing that I had insulted all of them, I just quietly walked out. I felt really bad cause they were all nice and had nothing but the best intentions for me. They love her, and they were literally telling me that I was good enough, which should have been a compliment, but I somehow took it the wrong way and spat in their face. I didn't even drink. Edit, sorry. I proofread and changed some minor stuff. Also, I added some stuff to the statement below. We walked out and I let her have it again. She's now sobbing uncontrollably. She apologized and pretty much begged for us to start over, and I told her I wasn't into it, and then I left her there. I drove home and couldn't help but wonder if I overreacted. I couldn't sleep and I woke up this morning feeling like I probably did overreact, and now I feel like shit. But it's done, I can't undo it. Edit, let me ask this more clearly. Should I call her and apologize for humiliating her and insulting her family? Or should I just move on? Or should I wait and see if she calls and apologize then? TLDR, went on first date, met her family, insulted all of them cause I felt pressured. Just want to clear something up. My date never had a profile on the dating site. She was browsing through with her friend who has a profile and they were looking for a date for her friend. It was the friend who originally messaged me to set me up with my date. Also, I deleted my profile. I'm totally done with online dating. I've been in this city 2 years now, so I'm gonna just go out and meet people the old-fashioned way. It just feels less risky somehow. I know this is gonna disappoint many of you, but I decided to speak with her. The very day I posted here was the day immediately after our date. That same evening she called me, but I didn't answer cause I was in the shower, so sent me a text that said, "Do you hate me too much to talk to me?" I texted back, "I don't hate you." She responded, "Can I call you?" I texted, "Yes." So she called and immediately went into full apology damage control mode. I told her that it was okay, that I was already over it and moved on. She asked if there was any way we could meet cause there were some things she wanted to say in person and she wanted for us to part with a handshake and all that. It kind of sounded like she needed closure. So I agreed to meet her downtown to talk the following Tuesday. Not a date, no lunch, no coffee, we just met at a park. We met and I knew she was still the one. She told me she loves me and we decided to try it again. We went on 3 dates and I proposed. She said yes. We're gonna get married in December. No big wedding, we're gonna fly to Las Vegas and do it there. The plan is to spend Christmas as a married couple. Just kidding, I'm not that fucking crazy. Hopefully you're still reading. The rest of the update continues on the next paragraph. We met at a park just to talk. I had been so disappointed cause I felt that the spark and the butterflies in the stomach would be gone. That I wouldn't like her anymore. As soon as I saw her, this was confirmed. There was no spark. She looked great, but I just didn't feel it, it kind of crushed me. So I decided to listen to her as she apologized again and told me she had really liked me on that first date and got carried away and made a very dumb decision that she wishes she could take back. She added that her mom had pulled her aside when we arrived and right from the beginning told her that if she liked me, she'd just made a big mistake by bringing me. I guess her mom pretty much cringed when she saw us walk in that night. Also, I should say that her mom was the only one defending me that night and practically pulling people off of me like her religious uncle who asked me if I'd been saved. I remember that pretty well, but I guess her mom came down on her hard for not just having a first date. But she also said that things got even crazier after I left. Her mom wasn't there for my rant. She had driven somebody home and came back after I'd left. She found my date outside crying and was told what happened. Her mom, I guess, stormed into the restaurant and went off on everybody for ganging up on me. My date says she called them a bunch of out-of-control animals. The whole thing was reduced to a big finger-pointing fest by everybody. The mom was furious because the story is that my date's dad left them when my date was 9. He had some sort of breakdown and became an alcoholic. He became verbally and emotionally abusive, so the mom kicked him out to protect the kids. He refused to get his act together and disappeared for almost 10 years. So the mom hates when the dad acts like he has a say in his kids' lives since he was gone and just came back less than 2 years ago. But he still lives over an hour away. A lot of the people that were there, I guess, live far away and they flew in for the aunt's b-day. Supposedly most of them she only sees once a year at the most. So the mom went off on him especially hard and questioned his right to have any say in his daughter's decision to date anybody. She embarrassed him in front of everybody for having overstepped so many boundaries. So she told me this stuff cause she wanted me to know that she was very sorry she let her dad act all fatherly when it wasn't the time and it wasn't his place. These were her words, not mine. In a way, I'm glad the mom wasn't there to witness me going off cause then I would have felt really bad. But come to think of it, she probably would have stepped in and prevented it. She asked me if there was a way we could have that first date again. But I said no. There's no way I can pretend that we are meeting for the first time after all of that. I know too much about her. I feel way too gone past that first date mode right now, and maybe I need to take a break from formal dates. I did apologize to her for not telling her right away how uncomfortable I was and for going off on her outside the restaurant. I told her that there were a lot of nice people there that I felt bad about, but that I'm sure they understand me cause they seemed reasonable. As I was talking to her, I could see how much better she felt that I had given my own apology. Her face went from subdued and sorry to kind of hopeful and semi-happy. She started to get back her glow and her spunk. We started talking about other stuff, what I do at work, my hobbies, and some other causal stuff. The more I talked, the more she glowed. I felt bad 'cause she showed up looking kind of fragile and contrite. She looked vulnerable, but by the end of our conversation she was smiling and looked more sure of herself. I tried to show my sense of humor and made her laugh. I felt kind of sorry for her. I made it my goal to send her home smiling. I kind of started to feel that spark again after she started smiling and laughing more. She has a great laugh, it's really cute and innocent. It felt a lot like it did at the restaurant. Her awesomeness comes back when she's comfortable. She definitely does it for me. I walked her to her car and we agreed that another date is probably not a good idea right now. She wanted to meet my yoga teacher, 'cause she's the best. My date, I feel weird not tying her name, has said she needs to learn to relax more when she's stressed out. So I met her at yoga class the following Thursday, the 7th, and made the introduction. My date has been coming to the same 3 yoga sessions that I do weekly. We talk there. She still flirts with me and hints that we should meet for hot tea. Neither of us is a coffee drinker. I walk her to her car after class 'cause it's dark by then. I still like her and I can tell she feels the same way. The spark is all the way back now. But all those comments I got here on my original post about her being crazy are still completely lodged in my head. They have me second-guessing myself about staying in touch with her. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but whatever it is, it's gonna take time. Edit, I changed some little things and typos. TLDR, she called, we met to talk, and she joined my yoga class. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, there are a lot of interesting stories ahead of you.